Yes, 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 yes. In my head. Hello everybody, welcome to In My Head. Two quick things. The first, I'm from the United States of America, so if you're from a different country or a different culture, the things that I say here, they may not apply the same for you. Number two, I am not a licensed professional. Tony Robbins says he's not my guru, but he's my God. I follow everything he says. I can't get enough. This man has changed my life. Here on In My Head, I talk about my take on mental health issues, and today I wanted to talk about, is Tony Robbins running a cult? Is it a scam? So as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I've attended a Tony Robbins seminar myself, and I felt amazing after the event had ended, but then as time moved on, I looked backwards and I reflected on things, and I kind of wondered, how helpful was this really? At these seminars, Tony does all sorts of interesting things, and at times it feels like you're a part of a cult. Say yes! He also gets you thinking a lot about your mind and your beliefs, and he promises to get you taking massive action to change your life. Honestly, it's an exhilarating experience, and it's hard not to walk away feeling energized, but also wondering, what just happened? Today is the day everything changes. But is it a cult? I'm here to talk about mental health, and the field as a whole seems to kind of dance around the issue of cults. Coercion is certainly something that's been studied, and it's important in psychology, but what about when it comes to cults? Well, to begin with, we need a definition for what a cult is, and there doesn't seem to be an agreed upon one. Generally, a cult has a leader who cannot be questioned, who dictates the rules of how other people in the cult should be living their lives. Usually, they forcefully require people to devote all of their time and energy to that leader, and they encourage people to not seek any influence from anybody outside of this cult. Do as I say. Tony Robbins doesn't forcefully keep anybody devoted to him. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video. So by that definition, he's not running a cult. But perhaps for you, the definition of cult is a little bit looser. Maybe he's not forcing anybody to follow him, but there is a lot of coercion going on, right? Who understands what I'm saying? Say I! And this is where things start to get a little bit muddy. If we loosen the definition of what a cult is, then what's a cult? Is religion a cult? Sports teams? Nations? Social media influencers, celebrities. All of these groups use influence and sometimes coercion to try to get you to do what they want. Even I do it. There's no escaping people who try to influence you. All people try to influence other people. So where does that leave us? What does that tell us? My takeaway is that influence and coercion, they fall along a spectrum. You could have behaviors that are maybe a little bit more benign, like somebody flirting with you, all the way to more extreme behaviors such as confining you forcibly. And there can be a whole range of behaviors in between. I think I have something you might like. You're taking this whether you like it or not. When it comes to Tony Robbins, what he does is probably best classified as a large group awareness training, or LGAT. The American Psychological Association has rejected calling large group awareness trainings cults. But they do sometimes seem to share in aspects that may be seen as coercive, such as having long seminar days with no or little breaks in between where people don't have the opportunity to get things that they need like food, or what's sometimes referred to as love bombing, where participants are repeatedly told positive messages about themselves. You are a beautiful gift. You are the most powerful expression of consciousness in the world. Interestingly, large group awareness trainings have actually been studied, and I'll link to that study down below. In 1990, researchers compared participants of a large group awareness training with a control group. They measured things like positive and negative emotions, physical health, mental illness, perceived control, social functioning, self-esteem, and daily coping, as well as general life satisfaction. The results showed that after going through a large group awareness training, there was little to no change in a positive or a negative direction, except for a short-term change in the feeling of having personal control over one's life. The researchers did note that it's a possibility that people may have to go through these trainings on a regular basis in order to sustain the effect. If you like that, then you'll love this. What we can say with certainty is that Tony Robbins is not forcing anybody to attend his seminars, and he's not forcing anybody to stay devoted to him. Tony Robbins is not running a cult. He may, however, use influential tactics to try to get you to change your psychology and outlook on life. That can be said about many influential people and many large groups, including myself. I'm hoping that as society continues to discuss things like the Me Too movement and consent, it revives some interest in this topic of manipulation and coercion. It seemed like the research, at least from what I saw, started to wither off and die away after this study was done. It's as if they said, well, there's no negative effects, so why do we need to keep studying this? I do think, though, that we need more resources to fully understand the nuances of the spectrum of coercion and influence and how it affects people. If you like hearing about my take on mental health issues, why not go to youtube.com/RyanLiberty, go hit subscribe, and let me know what you think about this down below in the comments. Have I influenced you? Thanks for joining me, everybody, here on In My Head. Make your move! Subscribe!